All right, let's get right into it. We've all heard the buzz about weight loss drugs like Ozempic, right? For some people, they're life-changing. For others, nothing. So what's the deal? Is it about willpower? Diet? Well, the real answer might be a lot deeper, something literally written into our DNA. Today, we're going to unpack that genetic puzzle.
And just a quick, but really important heads up before we start. This is all for educational purposes. We're just exploring the science here. This is not medical advice. You should always chat with your doctor or healthcare professional about any health decisions.
You hear this kind of thing all the time, right? And it is so frustrating. It can make you feel like you're the one doing something wrong. But what if it has nothing to do with your effort and everything to do with your own unique biology?
And that brings us to a huge concept in medicine, something scientists have known for a long time, the one-size-fits-none problem. When it comes to how our bodies handle medication, we are all incredibly different. There's no single blueprint. And I mean, just look at this number. Genetics can explain anywhere from 20% to a whopping 95% of why a drug works for one person and not another. That's not just a small tweak. That's our DNA basically running the show. For most drugs out there, this variability isn't some rare exception, it's the rule.
So to really get why things can go so differently, we need to follow the medication on its journey through the body. Think of it like a package delivery. There are a bunch of different steps, and at any point, that package can get sped up, slowed down, or maybe even sent to the wrong address.
First off, what are these drugs exactly? Ozempic and the others like it are called GLP-1 receptor agonists. Basically, they're clever copycats. They mimic a hormone our body naturally makes after we eat, and that hormone's job is to tell our brain we're full and to slow down digestion.
Okay, so any drug you take goes on this classic four-step journey. It has to get absorbed into your system, distributed to the right spots in your body, metabolized, which just means broken down, and finally, it has to actually do its job. A tiny genetic glitch at any one of these stops can change the entire story.
Let's zoom in on that metabolism step, because it's a really big piece of this puzzle. Most of this breakdown happens in the liver. You can think of your liver as this super advanced processing plant, and the workers on the assembly line are a family of enzymes called Cytochrome P450. So, who's in charge of these workers? Who writes their instruction manual? Well, that would be your DNA. And this is where we get to the very heart of why your experience on a drug can be totally different from your friends.
See, the instructions in our DNA sometimes have these tiny variations. Think of them like typos. Scientists call them SNPs. And just one of these single-letter typos in the genetic code for a cytochrome P450 enzyme can tell it to work super fast, super slow, or, maybe not at all.
And this basically puts people on a spectrum. On one end, you have ultra-rapid metabolizers. Your body is just so efficient at breaking down the drug that it's cleared out before it even has a chance to work. It's gone. On the other end, you have poor metabolizers. Here, the drug sticks around for way too long, which can cause it to build up and potentially increase side effects.
But wait, it's not just about speed. Your genes also build the transporters that act like little gatekeepers, deciding whether to let a drug into your cells. And they also shape the receptors, the locks that the drug, the key, has to fit into perfectly to work. A genetic tweak can change the gatekeeper's rules or even the shape of the lock itself.
And what's really fascinating is how these genetic variants show up in different populations. They're not just randomly scattered. As you can see here, the rate of a specific variant can be way more common in one ancestral group than another. This is one reason why scientists sometimes see different average drug responses across large populations.
Okay, so that's the science, the how and why this happens. But how common is it really? Let's switch gears from biology to the cold, hard data from actual clinical trials.
Here's the number. In the big studies for these weight loss drugs, a pretty significant chunk of people, somewhere between 15 and 40%, are considered non-responders. That's huge. It could be as many as 4 out of every 10 people.
And non-response isn't just someone saying, I don't think it's working. It has a real clinical definition. It generally means someone hasn't lost at least 5% of their starting body weight after about 3 or 4 months on the treatment. It's a clear benchmark.
You can see it right here on this chart. The majority of people, they respond. But that non-responder group is a very real, scientifically recognized slice of the pie. The most important thing to take away from this is, if you happen to fall into this group, you are absolutely not alone.
So,
Knowing all this might feel a little discouraging, but it leads us to the most important question. What do you do about it? Well, here's the good news. Non-response isn't a dead end. It's just a data point that helps figure out the next step. Doctors have a whole playbook for this. It might mean changing the dose, maybe changing the timing of when you take it, sometimes combining it with another therapy, or even switching to a totally different kind of medication that works on a pathway your body is more friendly with. And sometimes you have to zoom out and look at the whole health picture. Another underlying issue, like a problem with your thyroid, for instance, could be getting in the way. And sometimes treating that condition is the key to unlocking the medication's true potential. So if we boil this whole thing down, what are the big takeaways? 1. Your genetics are a huge player in how you respond to medicine. 2. Not responding to a drug is a biological fact. It is not a personal failure. And 3. There are smart, systematic ways to find a treatment that actually works for you.
And all of this, it really points toward this incredible future. A future where maybe a simple genetic test at the beginning could tell you exactly which drug and what dose is perfect for you. It really makes you wonder, right? Is this kind of personalized medicine designed for our own unique DNA the future of how we treat, well, maybe everything?